3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sitting all alone. Nighttime and it's shiver, I can feel it in my bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Basketball Podcast. How y'all doing today? Joining me in the studio is absolutely no one for the second week in a row. Last week it was planned for me to go solo. This week is just me rocking out. We're actually live for the first time. So we're going to see how that goes. We are now currently live on YouTube and we are currently live on Twitch. So if anyone's out there, tell me what's up in the comments. I appreciate you guys. How y'all doing today? Today we are going to be talking a little bit more about the Red Sox, seeing what we can do to really get this team back into contention, because right now it is terrible. I have no idea what in the blue hell is going on, nor do I really even think I want to know. It's just a complete mess. It's really sad, and honestly, I mean, repping this team for so long, being a big market team, you expect to win, and having this team be the only team in the AL East, where yes, the AL East is strong, but historically you have a subpar Blue Jays and an extremely subpar Orioles who are now starting to make their way up, and now it's our turn to be on the bottom. It's never really been a thing for Red Sox Nation. So if I can figure out there we go. Still new to the streaming, so everyone that's not on Spotify, you're gonna have to stick with me for a minute here. First thing, why are the Red Sox so bad? Right now we are 41-42, last place in the AL East. It's a mess right now. The Rays lead it. The Orioles are 6.5 back in second. The Yankees are 10 back. The Blue Jays are 11 back, and then there we are, 15 games back of the lead. That hurts to say. And yes, the Rays have always been not always, for the past 4 years, have been a very good regular season team, but that still doesn't help the fact that we suck. You know what I mean? There's no reason for us to suck this bad. And a couple of notes that we need to talk about this Red Sox team. First, some defensive liabilities, especially at the shortstop position. We brought in, I was just talking about him last episode, David Hamilton. He's been playing good. Let me see. David Hamilton, 18 at-bats. His batting average gone down. He's at about a 167 now. How many stolen bases does he have? 2, and caught once. 3 walks. Only 1 extra base hit out of 3 hits. He's not really doing great, but not only is it just our shortstops in general, it's mainly just their defense. The defense at the shortstop position between, let me see, Kike Hernandez has a fielding percentage of .946, below average for a shortstop. These are all Pablo Reyes, .959, not been doing good. I mean, just this whole team, .982 fielding percentage. That doesn't sound too bad. You make the play 49 times out of 50. But in terms of all 15 AL teams, we are ranked 14th. We have the second worst defense in the AL. Terrible. In terms of actual, I believe this is errors. Yeah, in terms of errors, we're dead last. We have the most errors in the AL East. It's terrible. I have no idea why it's so bad. We've never been statistically a great defensive team, but it still works. We still have, it's been working. And I mean, we look at this in terms of ERA, we're 11th out of 15 AL teams. Our ERA is terrible with a team ranking of 4.4. Our shutouts, we don't have a single one yet. We're middle of the pack in saves, below average in hits allowed, below average in runs allowed, below average in earned runs allowed, below average in home runs allowed, below average in strikeouts. Pitching, terrible also. And just below average. You have some really good spots here. Like Chris Martin's still doing very well. Kenley Jansen's got a little bit worse, but nothing terrible. James Paxton, I believe he just threw a shutout a couple of games ago, which is awesome. Bayo's been doing amazing for being only 24 years old with a 5-5 record with this team. That is very good to see. Other than that, though, I mean, you have guys like Ryan Brazier has a 7.29 ERA. Caleb Bort has a 5.4 ERA. Cutter Crawford's got a 4, which isn't the worst. Justin Garza, 5.06. Joe Jacques, or however the hell you say his last name. It's not going to matter because he's not going to be here in 6 months. He has a 5.4. This team's just terrible from top to bottom, at least in the pitching staff. Let's go over to the hitting. Let's pray that's a little bit better. Runs scored, we're 4th. And this is all in the AL, remember, not the entirety of the league, just the AL. Hits, we're 5th. Doubles, we lead the league in. Triples, we're average. Home runs were below average. Stolen bases were a little below average. Caught stealing, we're one of the best at not being caught stealing. Strikeouts were a little above average. Walks were a little above average. Batting average, we're 4th. On-base percentage, we're 4th. Slugging, we're 4th. OPS, we're 4th. So if we look at all the AL teams, let's go back a little bit, right? So let me just look through here. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are, in terms of record, right now, as I'm recording this, the Blue Jays game is going on right now. So obviously this will change in about 2 hours. But as I'm recording this right now, we are the 9th ranked team in the American League, record-wise. And we have the 4th best offense in the AL. And we can't get a pitching staff together to save our freaking lives. And our fielding is atrocious. So we got the batting side. We've always been a very good batting team. We've never really been the greatest of pitching teams or the greatest of fielding teams. We've always had just average. If we can get back to just average, we will be a wild card team. Absolutely no problem. This team is just terrible when it comes to pitching and fielding. So, in my opinion, let's move on to what the Red Sox are going to do at the trade deadline. What are we going to do at the trade deadline? This is a tough question to really comprehend because we're 500. We're the definition of mid. Okay, I much rather enjoyed when we were one of the worst teams back in 2020. When we were one of the worst teams back in 2022. I don't like being mid. Mid is an eternal hellhole. You're not good enough to make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough in order to get a top pick in order to secure guys for the future. You're just mid. Think about the Washington Wizards for the past 5 years before they traded Bradley Beal. Think of what the Chicago Bulls are going to be for the next 5 years if they keep on extending DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, and just trying to keep that core together. And Zach LaVine, obviously. There's no real good way to be mid. And that's not a thing. You can have a 2021 fluke year where you can go in as mid and then make a miracle run through the playoffs, yes. But that's not going to happen all that often, is it? No, not even close. So where do we go from here is the question. The honest answer, I don't really know where we go from here. The Red Sox have stated they are all in. They're going to buy. And I'm not a fan of that. This team's beyond saving. Unless you bring in an ace. I know this is going to happen, but just a name to bring up, Hunter Green. Like, if you brought in Hunter Green from the Reds, I'd be ecstatic. If you brought in, trying to think, let's just say he's not having the best season, but like a Shintaro Fujinami to help this starting rotation. If you brought in some setup guy who just from bad teams, if you could get all that without trading a million prospects, I'd be down for it. But no, our farm system isn't the best. Let me look it up while I'm still talking. Red Sox farm system. Red Sox farm system rankings. I don't believe we're in the top. Where's Red Sox farm system ranked? 10th. So it's not bad. 10th in baseball. That could be much worse. I thought it was like going to be 20th. So, I will take 10th. But still, we can boost this farm system up to be something amazing and just build through our farm system. If that's the way Heim really wants to take this team, I'm all for it. But we can't just be mid. Can't just be mid. They want to buy. I'm saying we just straight sell. It reminds me a lot of 2019. 2019, we had a much better team than we do now. But we were still, I could be wrong about this, but I believe we were still about 500-ish around the trade deadline, and we needed pitching help. And so Dave Dombrowski comes in. Oh, I got an idea. I got it. We just made a trade with the Orioles. Yay, we did something. And it was for Andrew Cashner. Or as Red Sox fans called him, Andrew Trashner. The reason why we called him Andrew Trashner is because he had like a 7 ERA out of the pen with the Red Sox. And he stunk. And the Red Sox missed the playoffs that year. And that was the last year before we traded Mookie. I'm just getting a lot of flashbacks about that. Oh, we're gonna buy, and we have nothing to show for it. We have absolutely nothing to show for it, and I don't think it's gonna go down to we're gonna trade our star player again. I don't think that's gonna be a thing that we pursue, just because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. We just signed him to a 10-year contract, so we're not going to trade Devers like we did Mookie. But with this team buy-in, I'm going to say some people. We're just going to go through the roster, and I'm going to say if this is a person I would like to keep or sell. Connor Wong, if we were buying, I wouldn't mind getting rid of him. Tristan Casas, staying. Christian Arroyo, I like what he does, even though he's a utility player. He can do very good for us off the bench, staying. Kike, he can go, but I wouldn't really mind if he stays. Devers, obviously going to stay. Masataka Yoshida, going to stay. Jarren Duran, going to stay. Alex Verdugo, I mean, he's batting .301, so we'll let him stay. Unless you're like hardcore selling and you can get a really good prospect for him. Staying. Justin Turner, got to go. $10 million for a 38-year-old. Yes, he's doing very good this season. Batting .272 is our DH. But at 38 years old, there ain't no room for you on the Red Sox. We're not a retirement home around here. Robert F. Snyder just got a contract extension. Going to stay. Reese McGuire, get him the hell off my team. Adam Duvall, 34 years old. .269 batting average is good. But once again, this is not the retirement home. We need people in their prime or just leaving their prime. You are 34. Ramel Tapia is not here. Pablo Reyes, he can stay. Yu Chang, heard some good things about him. He could stay. David Hamilton, still young. Got to stay. Bobby Dahlbeck, talked about this. Got to go. You got to send him off to a small market organization where you can get back a decent prospect. He can go off and play, and he can actually get valuable innings and really boost his stock. He's going to be great. Caleb Hamilton, I don't know who you are. Garrett Whitlock stays no matter what. Chris Murphy, I have no idea who you are. Caleb Ort, gone. 31-year-old reliever who sucks, gone. Devers just hit a 2-run homer against the Blue Jays, and we are up 2-1, which is awesome. Brian Bayo, gonna stay. Chris Sale, if you can trade him, I'm sure there's going to be no one who wants him, but if you can trade him, you got to get him out of here. Nick Pivetta, gone. Just never worked out with the Red Sox. Corey Kluber, he's 37 years old. At this point, just release him. He's injured. Josh Winkowski stays. No matter what, he stays on this team. James Paxton can go. He's been good. Yes, he's been good. Can go. Kenley Jansen, I wouldn't mind either way. He's old, so if you want to get rid of him for a prospect, cool. If you want to keep him, I know he's 35, but he's been doing very well. So either way on that. Cutter Crawford can go. Same thing. Just sucks. Ryan Brazier, Chris Martin, you're old, you got to go. John Schreiber, amazing. Never get rid of him. Tanner Houck, very good. Never get rid of him. And those are basically just the notable guys that we talked about. Yes, I went through that very quickly, but you get the gist. There are a lot of guys on this team that we can just sell off, get up, and get the hell out of here. Last thing we got to talk about today, I know this is going to be a shorter podcast today, just because I'm alone. You know, next week I will be back here. I'm going to go see my family. I'm going to be back here on the 8th. We're going to have people in for the rest of the month. I promise you. We're going to have the long 30, 45-minute, hour-long content that you guys deserve. Last thing. Is Chaim Bloom on the hot seat? Is he on the hot seat? This is a real question that we got to ask ourselves. Is Chaim Bloom on the hot seat? The answer, in my opinion, should be yes. It's got to, you can't have him on this team. He's running this team like a small market organization, which is great. if we were a small market organization. We are not a small market organization. We are the Boston freaking Red Sox. We're one of the best teams out there. It's never been. We've always had one of the highest not cap hits, one of the biggest teams for cap space in the league. It's Dodgers, it's Mets, slowly becoming Padres, Yankees, and Red Sox. You can throw in the Chicago teams too. Screw the Chicago teams. I'm all for just having those teams rock with it. Okay, those are the big teams when it comes to cap space. The fact that we're playing this like a small market team where it's like, oh, we're going to get this player because the analytics tell us that we can get him on a cheaper deal than what he's worth. Oh, we get that player not on a max deal. That's how we lost Xander Bogaerts, man. We lost Xander Bogaerts for a 38-year-old Justin Turner, a 34-year-old Adam Duvall, and Corey Kluber, and Jorge Alfaro, who I don't think is on the team anymore. We were paying those guys a collective, I want to say, $29 million, and Xander Bogaerts, I believe, got a $30 million. Because we want to play this little small ball, oh, this player can help here, or small market, sorry. Oh, this player can help here, that player can help there. It's what cost us one of our stars. We're Boston. We love our stars. We need to keep our stars. This isn't brain science or rocket surgery. This is just what we need to do. Not that hard. So, is his job on the line? In my opinion, yes. In terms of the Red Sox execs, they say absolutely not. I will share a quote. Quote, no concern about Chaim's leadership in our baseball ops department. They're obviously all in on 2023. Quote, this is obviously not where we want to be. It's sort of been a tale of two teams, given the streaky nature of our play. But we definitely believe that this group can string a run together and get us back in this thing. We are 15 games out of the AL East, by the way. Every time we have a great stretch, we seem to falter and fall down. Yeah, because this team is an average of 33 years old. It's really not, but it feels like it. And most of these guys are going to have a broken hip if we don't wheel them to the retirement home soon. Then we pick ourselves back up and have another run because somebody goes out, a.k.a. Brayan Bello, and he has a great game. It's not hard. Not hard to figure out, guys. It's not hard to figure out. But I certainly don't think we're a 500 team. I think we're better than that, and I think we have a chance to straighten things out here. We haven't done that yet, but we're halfway through, and it's time to get along. That's just the execs mumbo jumbo of just we're doing our best. We're doing our best. Get off our backs. We're doing our best. No, your best isn't good enough. I'm sorry, it's really not. So, what the hell are we doing? If it's got to come to the point where you got to man up and you have to say, this team that we built is not good enough for a championship run. We're going to sell off some pieces and then we're going to try and rebuild it back up. That is perfectly fine. To most of the fan base, they will be pissed because we do not like rebuilding in Boston, but it's something that's got to happen. I mean, the Red Sox did it for 3 years, from 2015 to 2018, or my apologies, 2014 to 2016. We rebuilt, and then Poppy retired. In the Patriots, we're rebuilding currently. We are a mid-team. Nobody likes a mid-team, like I said. In hockey, the Bruins have had their fair share of rebuilds. In basketball, with the Celtics, they had their long stretch of a rebuild from 2013 when we traded off Rajon Rondo and we got through the Paul Pierce KG trade and we fired Doc Rivers, and we had to go through that rebuild 13, 14, 15, 16. Those years, 16 was a playoff team, but it wasn't a very good playoff team. We had to go through the stretches of being bad, and we got through it. Might be time to hit that reset button on the Red Sox too. My personal opinion. So with that being said, I know this was a much shorter episode today, and I really appreciate you guys. Next episode 103, we're going to be rocking with a co-host. I don't know exactly who that co-host is. For people who are new and have listened to this whole thing, thank you guys so much. But I run this thing solo, so we're seeing. I'm testing the waters. You know, I bring in a new co-host every week to help me out. So there's more co-hosts that you'll see than others. It's how it is. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much. We're going to try doing a couple of things on here. I'm about to go on Instagram Live to have a big announcement. So if you want to listen to that, go follow us at Pesky Pole Podcast. We're going to be doing some big things over here. That being said, God bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next one.
I just wanna feel free, and I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be free. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, y'all will see. Yeah, you'll see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, in my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single verse, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, but that is okay. Lately I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste, so I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making rest every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hit you with a bullet to the brain. Let us that first bitch, we going, you going insane. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have a twist in the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. Man, we went to hours, we barely got rest. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. Yeah. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best, best. Yeah, we be the best. Whoa. Yeah, we be the best, best. We be the best. Hey. Yeah, we be the best, best. Hey, we be the best. Yo, you wanna come from a test? Whoa, you want to see we the best. Hey, you don't see that we're the best here, so I suggest you never really come and test it. But otherwise, I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball in the basket. Oh damn kid, but you didn't expect it. You never really thought that this could just happen. But now already come on and we pull out with the action. Cause people defeat those they don't get it like.